guys again, YouTube, this is SilverBeanie here, bringing you guys week 5 team builder for the UBL season 1. The CRYSTAL Palossans this week are taking on the Indianapolis Cobalions, I think I got that right, and Coach Trexus in what is going to be a very, very scary match ahead. We've built a team that's hopefully going to counter it perfectly and hopefully can bring us up with a W. If you missed our previous matches, definitely check them out. They're all included in the description or somewhere on my YouTube, so you can find them somewhere. They're around. You definitely check them out though. But we are unfortunately 0-4. We're currently still rocking with 4 losses. We have had a very, very poor start. We are against the entire draft, against the entire league. We are unfortunately in last place in terms of points. But hey, hopefully today's the day that we can potentially, you know, maybe this series, this match, we can bring out a W. Who knows? We've got a very scary match, very scary team ahead of us. I'm going to talk to you guys through our opponent's team, and then I'm going to talk to you guys through the team that we're going to bring to hopefully counter it. But my opponent, very scary team. As soon as I saw it, one thing that screamed at me was Trick Room and Destruction. My opponent is currently, I think, 3 and 1. They are currently. Yeah, they've only had 3. They've had 3 wins and 1 loss so far. So we've definitely got our work cut out for us. But we've got a Setter Stealer, a Mega Altaria, an Umbreon, and a Mungus, Slowking, Thundurus, Mamoswine, Cryogonal, Claydol, Houndoom, and Dusclops. Very, very scary team to deal with. But we're going to talk you guys through it a little bit and let you guys know what we're dealing with. So up first, we've got the Setter Stealer. Setter Stealer, big threat, massive threat. I think Setter Stealer, this guy, he was 2nd overall to pick, so straight away he snagged Setter Stealer. Very unfortunate for us, but hey, it is what it is. But Setter Stealer obviously still flying, Beast Boost, Destruction. Setter Stealer is a really fortunate one because it's, other than its speed, all its stats are very close to each other. So you can run this thing however you like. You can run it physically offensive, specially offensive, physically defensive, specially defensive. There's so many different sets for Setter Stealer. It's so tricky to prepare for. Plus, it's a steel type, so it's one of the most hardest things to break down. Typically, Setter Stealer is usually run more defensive, but you never know. You never know what they could be. But it's very tricky to prepare for. So we've got a lot, obviously be careful. Obviously, Leech Seed, things like Heavy Slam, Protect, Flamethrower. This thing gets Flamethrower. Crazy. I don't think it gets Thunderbolt. I'm just going to check now, actually. I did check. I can't remember. No, it doesn't get Flamethrower. It gets things like Earthquake, so it gets a lot of coverage, which is one thing I really need to keep in mind. It gets a lot of coverage, so it can take down pretty much one way or another. It will have a move to counter my entire team. So I cannot let this thing get a Beast Boost. As soon as it gets 1 Beast Boost, that's it. Games are it's gonna start knocking things down. And Beast Boost, Beast Boost, Beast Boost, Beast Boost, and it's gonna start sweeping. So we've got to make sure we get rid of this thing as soon as. We've got to keep an eye out. Also, he's got a Mega Altaria. One of the most difficult Megas, I think, in the entire meta. Mega Altaria is very scary. Obviously, Dragon Fairy picks up, he's within the first 2 rounds, he's picked up his Fairy Dragon Steel Core. Typically, this thing is usually offensive. Very rarely is it defensive, but he could bring last week defensive set. We've got a lot of offensive and defensive. We've got a bit of a mixed team. As an entire draft, so he could do all sorts. But obviously, Dragon Dance, Return / Facade, Earthquake, you know, Roost. If he wants to run physical, special, he's got Hyper Voice. I don't expect him to bring Hyper Voice purely because obviously I have Komodo, so obviously I counter with Soundproof. I would basically he would lose his typing, so you'd lose Hyper Voice. So physical offensive Altaria is one I'm expecting, but you never know. You never know what your opponent could bring. He's got the Umbreon, which is really tricky, very physical, very dangerous physical. Typically, this thing's just Wish, Protect, Toxic Stall, and then 9 times out of 10, maybe Heal Bell, or obviously Foul Play is going to be 9 times out of 10 its only move, attacking move at least. Foul Play does a lot, so pretty much all of my team does about 50% at least, give or take. So it's very tricky to prepare for Foul Play. Definitely got to keep an eye out for that and try and wither it down as much as we can. Amoongus is honestly probably the one thing, one of the few things on his team I'm really going to struggle taking down. It's so bulky. Spore, sleep clause isn't a thing. He can only put one mon to sleep across my entire team, and then after that he can't do any more until obviously that Pokemon kicks out. So I'm 100% expecting Spore on this thing. Obviously I'm expecting things like Giga Drain, Large Bomb. He could run things like Clear Smog to basically prevent some of my Pokemon from setting up. So we've definitely got a work cut out for us in that situation. But I'm not too worried about taking hits from this thing. I'm more worried about just taking it out because it's so bulky. Plus it has Regenerator, and you know, if he wants to run Effect Spore, maybe I doubt it, but he could do that. Leftovers is typically what this thing runs, but if he decides to maybe just run a purely offensive set with no bulk, he could put an Assault Vest on this thing if he really wants to. Then it's going to be. I don't think I could take it down. So I've got a few counters, but it's definitely going to be the hardest thing I think on his team to actually take down. Moving on, we've got the Slowking. Slowking is another one that I'm really worried about. Another Regenerator mon. Very, very, very bulky. Base 95 HP, base 80 defense, base 110 special defense. As I said, very bulky. Typically with an Assault Vest with Leftovers, Regenerator, Scald, Side Shot, even Flame. I don't think it gets Flamethrower. I think it's Fire Blast. Does it get Flamethrower? It does get Flamethrower. And this thing's like just destruction. Obviously things like Carmind is a thing. This is another also Trick Room, like one that can learn Trick Room. I think the set of Stealer can also learn Trick Room. I don't think anything else so far that I've mentioned can learn it. But we've definitely got to be careful. I think it's the slowest mon on his entire team, so Trick Room more than likely is going to come for this thing. The next thing is the Thunderous. Now Thunderous, I'm more worried about taking hits. I'm really not worried about taking this thing out, because it's very frail. Base 90, like 79 HP, base 70 defense, and base 80 special defense. Taking a hit is not going to do very well. I can get rocks up as soon as this thing's going to get withered down very quickly. Obviously, Volt Absorb is a thing, so I have got to be careful with that. But you know, base special attack is 1 at 45, which is insane. I've got to get rid of this thing as soon as. I'm very worried about taking a hit from this thing because it's so. Like, if it gets a nasty part off, but this thing is going to swoop. So I cannot let that happen. I've definitely got to get rid of this as soon as. Got to get rocks up. So this thing's going to be very tricky. The Mamoswine is another one that's going to be an issue. Things like Ice Shard, Earthquake. I don't think it gets Sword Stance, but it gets Knock Off, which is annoying. But it can set up rocks. That's one of. I think it's one of his few. I think it's his only. Oh, it's Claydol. Claydol can also set up rocks. But Mamoswine, I don't really see Mamoswine coming. Maybe just sort of counter my Chandelure because of the thick fat to sort of reduce the damage, and then he potentially get an Earthquake off. But other than that, I don't really see the Mamoswine coming. But we'll see. We'll see. He's got the Cryogonal. The Cryogonal is, fun fact, his fastest Pokemon on his entire team. Cryogonal is the fastest, base 105 speed, which is quite surprising. And I thought I had a slow team, but he's got a very slow team on him, even if Thunderous is only base 101 speed. Yeah, 101. This thing, physical defense is non-existent, it's only base 50, but special defense, base 135. So the Cryogonal is going to be very tricky to take down. Again, we got to get rid of that as soon as. It's one of two hazard removers. It doesn't get rapid spin, but other than that, it's very tricky. But it's just not really. It's more of a sort of late. Like if you just need to get rid of rocks, you know, or something like that. I don't really see it coming down. Claydol's another one. I don't really see it coming. I think it's just more just a kind of thing that's there. I don't really see the Claydol coming down. Earth Power, Rapid Spin, obviously Stealth Rocks, and Psychic Side Shock. Obviously, this thing could maybe be a Toxic Stall, maybe. But otherwise, Claydol I don't really see coming. Maybe it's a Calm Mind, sort of set up and maybe try and sweep. Quite fast, base 75 is not terribly slow. Just about average. Base 105 defense and 120 special defense, though. That's nothing to laugh at. So again, this is another thing we've got to get rid of as soon as. Moving on to the last couple, you've got things like the Houndoom. Houndoom is very tricky. Base 95 speed, 110 special attack. This thing's going to be really tricky to take down. We aren't, like across my entire team spoilers, we're not running a single water type move. I'm not expecting him to bring the Houndoom though, because I've got Chandelure, which can gain the Flash Fire. Obviously, it does get Dark type moves, so maybe he'll counter that. But I've got a lot of counters. So I don't necessarily see him bringing it. He may do, but I don't really see it. But, you know, see things like Dark Pulse, Nasty Plot, Flame Charge, if you physical, Fire Blast, Flamethrower, etc. Very tricky, it's very, very powerful. And last one, you've got the Dusclops. Dusclops is pretty much his wall. Base 113, both defenses. Chuck an Eviolite on this thing. Unless you knock it off, this thing's not going to go down anytime soon. This thing is 100% a wall that is going to just set up in your face and take ages to take down. So we've got to get rid of that thing if he brings it. Got to get it knocked off and start withering it down. Has to get toxic off, something. But now let's talk about our team. I'm very excited about this team. Once again, shout outs to Nugget Fabulous for helping me out build this team. But up first, we've got Dublade. Dublade is making its second week debut. I love this thing. I'm so glad we traded for it. It's been the absolute finest of work in the last match. Did pick up a kill in the last game. Slightly, I think we're bringing a slightly different set this week. We're not bringing Sacred Sword, instead we're bringing Shadow Claw. So we've got Shadow Sneak, Iron Head, and Sword Stance. If I can get a chance to set up a Sword Stance, Iron Head does so much to his entire team. Like, minus the Dustclops and the Mungus and Celesteela, Iron Head does so much damage with a +2. So if we can get Sword Stance up, we're going to be sitting very pretty. We've definitely got a work out for us, but Dublaze, 248 in HP and 228 in defense. He's got a lot of physical offense, and I'm expecting the Altaria to be physically offensive because obviously I've got Komodo, which counts his Hyper Voice. I'm not bringing Komodo though. I didn't really see the point because of one return, dead. It's like I didn't see the point of bringing it, but obviously my opponent may expect me to bring it, so I have to be prepared. So I've decided to put Dublade in max defense, and Dublade is my switch into Altaria, 100%. So very excited for Dublade coming through. And we also bring Craydilly. Craydilly is another one I'm really excited to bring. Now last week I made the mistake of leading with Craydilly just because I wanted to get rocks up. Shouldn't have done that. As much as I wanted to get rocks up, because I knew as soon as my opponents didn't bring what I expected them to bring, shouldn't have let it. So I've learned from my mistake. We're not bringing Craydilly this week. We're not bringing Craydilly. We're not leading with Craydilly. We got Rock Slide, we got rid of Sleep Bomb, and we've chucked Hidden Power Fire on there. And this thing's kind of my counter to the Amoongus. Because if the Amoongus comes in, it's going to 9 times out of 10 spore. I need to get Craydilly in so he doesn't spore me at all. I have Storm Drain on there. He doesn't have a single decent move other than Scold from the Slow King. Not really going to do much, but hey. Out of his 2 moves, I think what's his other ability? Suction Cups. Yeah, Storm Drain is 10 times better. Obviously, Lefto's on there to get the health ban. It's got Rock Slide, Half Fire, Stealth Rocks, and Toxic. We need to get Rocks up as soon as. This thing's especially bulky, max HP, max special defense, a little bit in defense. And yeah, this thing is 100% counter to that move. It will. Rock Slide does do more than Hidden Power Fire in the long run, but if I can try and go for, I've got obviously a slightly mixed set. So I can go for one of each, see which one does more, because that'll give me an idea depending on whether the Amoongus is physically offensive, especially defensive. Give me kind of an idea. So, very excited for this thing. Crystalia is finally making a return. We haven't used Crystalia in about 2-3 weeks. Crystalia has been taking a step back for the last couple of weeks now, so very excited to bring Crystalia back. Crystalia is literally just walling everything. Other than the Houndoom, which I don't expect to come. And maybe the Umbreon, but it's literally going to just wreck everything. We don't have any stab, benefit of running stab because he has so many dark types. So we've got Shadow Ball, Ice Beam, Moonlight, Calm Mind. If he brings that Umbreon in, we can Ice Beam it. Obviously against a Houndoom, we do have a little bit of issues, but have answers. I've got a Lumberry on there in case any of these things if he wants to try and spore me with the Amoongus. I got a Lumberry. It ain't happening. And +1 Ice Beam was at least 50%. So it's going to do a lot of damage. Plus, obviously, if he put Thunderous, we wall it. So max HP, max defense, Calm Nature. Very, very excited for this thing. It's going to, honestly, it's just going to wreck souls. So this thing's going to be very tricky to take down. I don't think he has... Does he have a single... I think he's only knockoff used. Is the Mammoth Swine. I don't think anything else on this team gets knockoff, so we're going to be sitting very pretty in that situation. Chandelure is the only Pokemon that I have brought to every single game, and it's going to continue coming. Chandelure is absolutely brilliant. This week, for the first time ever, we are bringing a different set. It is not holding a Choice Scarf. Didn't see the point of it holding Choice Scarf. His fastest Mon is base 105, which is the Cryogonal. I don't see it coming. But even if it does, Cryogonal cannot touch me. One Flamethrower, it's The only other thing that can outspeed me is obviously definitely outspeed Thunderous. And again, Thunderous, I don't know, maybe a Thunderbolt. It doesn't do a huge amount. I live 1, depending on obviously its spread, but it's gonna, like, Chandelure is just too perfect. Celesteela, like Celesteela doesn't live at all from 1 flamethrower. Hex and Will-O-Wisp, so I'm gonna Will-O-Wisp like pretty much anything I can. If anything wants to try and set up in my face, like the Amoonguss, Will-O-Wisp it. Like otherwise, but things like the Umbreon, I can Will-O-Wisp that, get it withered down. So we've got a lot of options. Plus I've got Haze if that Altaria comes in and starts setting up in my face. Because if it wants to set up Dragon Dance, like if it wants to set up Cotton Guard or something that can move, like it ain't doing that. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. I can Haze, get rid of all its defense investments. The same with the Celesteela. If that Celesteela comes out, because especially if it outspeeds for whatever reason, I can Haze it. So I can Haze it, get all its attacks and stats flattened out to get boosts. We're sitting pretty. So Chandelure this week is going to be absolutely amazing. Really excited. It's Modest Nature with max speed. It's going to be awesome. Very excited for Chandelure. Plus, my opponent more likely will be expecting me to once again bring Choice Scarf. We're running X, so it's going to put in the finest of work. Obviously, we have to bring our main man. We got our Mega Gyarados making a return. This time, no Water Stab whatsoever. Crunch, Iron Head, Ice Fang, Dragon Dance. I didn't see the point of any Water type moves. The only thing that the Water really benefits is the Claydol, Houndoom, and the Mamoswine. Didn't see the point of bringing it. Doesn't seem worth it. Crunch does serious work to the Celesteela. Amoonguss, it takes down the Slowking. It takes down pretty much everything minus the Dark types, and obviously Altaria. Iron Head is there for that Altaria and pretty much everything else. And Ice Fang is there to take down various other things in case, depending on what you bring. We've got Dragon Dance as well, so we can get a +1 of something up. But Gyarados I'm really happy with. Max speed, max attack, simple nature. We just need to get out, and you get a +1 off and start sweeping. So I just didn't see the point. He's got too many resistances to water. You know, the Celesteela and the Amoonguss. Didn't really see the point of bringing Waterfall this week. So instead we're cracking everything else to take stuff down. And last but not least, we have Galvantula. Now I'm very, very excited for Galvantula. Galvantula is going to be my dedicated lead, regardless as to what he brings in my lead. Galvantula, Life Orb, Compound Eyes. We are not running a single sticky web. Didn't see the point. His team's slow as it is. Plus, if he wants to set up Trick Room, go for it. I mean, I do not really mind too much. I have kind of prepared somewhat. I think I put, Cradilly has got the lowest, like the minimum nature for speed possible in the event he does want to do Trick Room. It's slow as it is, so why not make it even slower in case he wants to do Trick Room. So we have that. Galvantula, Thunder, Volt Switch, Bug Buzz, Hidden Power Ice. Thunder pretty much OHKOs the Celesteela. Obviously, we have got to be careful with that Thunderous, but I have got Hidden Power Ice on them. Hidden Power Ice get guarantees, depending on whether it's got any special investments, special defense investments, sorry. Hidden Power Ice 2-hit KOs the Thunderous. And we've got Bug Buzz, obviously, for the Amoonguss, obviously Dark types like the Umbreon, the Slowking. But also, fun fact, Bug Buzz, depending on like its bulk, it guarantees the 3-hit KO, the Houndoom, potentially 2-shot, depending on, again, its spread, as I say. We have a lot of options. So Galvantula has also got just enough speed, so it guarantees to outspeed everything on his team, providing he doesn't use a Choice Scarf. So it guarantees to outspeed everything regardless. Base 108 speed, like Galvantula alone, base speed is faster than his entire team. So I've put only 244 in his speed, just so I outspeed the Cryogonal by 2 points. Fastest one. If he was to run max speed Cryogonal, which is the fastest thing on his team, I still will outspeed. So I've done that and then chucked a little bit in defense just so we can guarantee 2 Earthquakes from the Celesteela as well. So we've got a lot of counters. He hasn't really got much to kind of counter me back. He's got a lot of bulk. That's what I see in his team. Like Celesteela, Umbreon, Amoonguss, Slowking, Claydol, Dusclops, like Cryogonal. He's got so many walls, so it's going to be tricky to take them down. He can't do much to me, but I can do quite a fair bit to him, but it's just going to take a while to take them. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see how we get on. But that is going to be our team. Definitely let me know in the comment section if there's anything you would have done differently. You know, if you maybe would have added a different set, different spread. Let me know. Also, let me know if you think we're going to come out with a W this week. I'm feeling confident. Who knows? Fingers crossed. Come up with a W this week. Need it. We need to bounce back, and this could be the team to do it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But thank you guys all so much for joining us. Hope you guys did enjoy. Definitely hit that like button if you did. Subscribe if you are new. Match will be going up tomorrow. And until then, guys. Until then, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm SilverBeanie, and I'll catch all you beautiful people next time.